just going to be introducing what a buffered solution is. And so one of the substances or solutions that is buffered is something that runs through our bodies. And you can kind of take a look up here as a hint, but it's blood. So blood is it's a buffered solution. And so the idea is, what is a buffer? And a buffer simply is any type of solution that maintains any pH. Now, it doesn't have to be a neutral pH, it's just that it maintains a particular pH. So that pH could be acidic and that pH could be basic. If the pH of your blood changes even slightly, it could actually cause what? Death. Okay? So, anybody know what the pH is? Maybe you're looking up above me. Anybody know what the pH of blood normally is on average? It's 7.4. It's about 7.4 is what normal blood pH is. So if it increases a little bit or decreases a little bit, it really could cause death. Now there is a misconception, and if you click on, there's an article that I posted. It'll tell you the truth about alkalizing in your blood, and people have asked, is it true that if you eat certain foods and drink certain beverages, that can alter your blood pH level? Well, it'll change the pH in your stomach, so if you eat foods that are too acidic, that can make a difference. But this doctor here says, no, it's not really going to change your blood pH. Your blood is buffered, and so how many of you have heard that before? Have heard that your blood is buffered? So I'm seeing that a few of you have. What basically happens is it naturally will switch, will alter, and it will accept different hydrogen ions, or depending, there's an increase or a release of the amount of hydrogen ion that is in your blood so that it can maintain that pH. And so it naturally works so that happens. And so this article kind of explains a little bit of that. So we know that you can have death at a pH even if it gets down to 7, or if you have anything greater than about a 7.8, then that can happen too. So what are these buffers? So they're solutions that are prepared to maintain a nearly constant what? pH. Awesome. The solutions are designed to consume any excess H plus or OH minus. For example, human blood is a buffered complex medium with a pH of about 7.4. 7.4. Very nice. Any significant variation in pH may result in death. Buffer solutions resist the change in pH because they contain both acidic and basic substances, and so you can get that solution neutralized. Generally, they usually contain a weak acid and its salt, so we're going to talk about what that is, or the opposite, a weak base and its salt. So it can also have a weak base and its salt. Keep in mind that as you do these calculations with buffered solutions, these are merely solutions with weak acids or weak bases and their salts. So the processes are always the same. So the first thing is, this here is called the ion product constant for what? Water. Awesome. And so we have Ka times Kb is what Kw is equal to. A just simply standing for what? An acid. And B simply standing for the K, or the equilibrium constant for your base. Okay? And so it's always the same. It's still that idea of products over reactants for each one. If your Kb is larger than your Ka, what ion do you think is prevalent that is showing up more inside of your solution? Probably what if your Kb is higher? What do you mean by base? I heard it OH. Perfect. The hydroxide concentration is higher. And if your Ka is larger, we could call it hydronium, but we're just going to call it what? Hydrogen, or the H plus ion is going to be predominant in the solution. Usually the following is true. If you have an acid plus a base, typically I say water and salt because what is it usually? Water and a salt. Okay? So what happens usually is you're going to have water that ends up coming off, and then you'll have whatever's left over is your salt. So here's an example. Here we've got a strong acid, HCl, and a strong base, NaOH. And what do we end up getting? Well, we get NaCl, which we would call the salt, and H2O, which we would call water. Okay? And so you can see the same thing here. Again, we have a strong acid and we have a strong base, and we get our salt and our water. That's still called the salt, even though it's not NaCl. And same thing here, but this is a weak acid and a strong base. We're still going to call that our salt, and that's our water. Pretty easy. So strong acid plus strong base. If you have a strong acid and a strong base, then what's going to happen is you pretty much get a pH of about 7, which means that our solution we would call what? Neutral. Awesome. So you're going to call that a neutral solution. If you have a strong acid with a weak base, well, typically what happens is your strong acid is giving off more hydrogen ions than your hydroxides are giving off. So you actually end up with an excess of H+, which means your solution is going to be more what? Acidic. Awesome. And so you would expect the pH to be high or low? You expect that you would have a lower pH at that neutralization point, okay? So here we have HCl, which is a strong acid with a weak base like NH3, and you get NH4Cl and it's water soluble. Or you can say that HCl is reacting with NH4OH, which is still ammonia, it's ammonium hydroxide, and you get NH4Cl, which this is what we're going to call the salt, and this is going to be the water again. Okay? So now we've got a weak acid plus a strong base. If you have a weak acid with a strong base, now you have a lot of hydroxides in your solution in excess, which means that your solution is going to be basic, meaning that your pH is high. You would expect a high pH at the equivalence point. So in this case here, we still have our salt and we still have our water. Okay? So this is our weak acid with our strong base. So it says the weak acid plus the weak base. If you have a weak acid and a weak base, you actually cannot tell. It may be acidic or basic. It depends. You're more likely doing a calculation to try to figure it out. It depends on what your final pH is of your solution if they're both weak. Okay? So if one of them is strong, you can tell. If they're both strong, you can tell. If they're both weak, you cannot tell. Okay? You actually have to do the calculations to figure it out. So let's try this. It says, for the following salts, write the acid and the base and whether the salt solution will be acidic, basic, or neutral. You probably have seen these questions on AP exams that you've been taking on practice exams where it says, label whether the salt is acidic or basic, and it doesn't make sense because you're looking at that and you're like, what? I don't know if that's an acid or a base. So what you're going to do is, I want you to split it in half, okay? And what I want you to write is on top of it, this is my trick, okay? I want you to write HOH, like you're writing water, okay? I want you to write HOH. And then what you're going to do is you're basically going to cross them, okay? So, what's my acid? HBr is my acid. And what's my base? You're going to cross this way, LiOH. And then what you're going to do is, so did you get that? So I cross this way and I cross that way. It wouldn't make any sense to have HLI or BROH. Do you agree? You've never seen a compound like that? Okay? So in this case, is this a strong acid or a weak acid? Strong acid. How do you know? Everybody say the strong acids again. I-clobber, no3, clo4, so forth. So that's part of the BR. Is this strong or weak? Well, Li is one of the 1A's, so strong or weak? Strong base. Strong acid and a strong base gives you what type of solution? Neutral. Neutral. Awesome. Let's try the next one. RbC2H3O2. So you're going to split it. You're going to write HOH, and then you're going to cross. So what's my acid? HC2H3O2, and what's the base? RbOH. Rb is a +1 and OH is a -1. Strong acid or weak acid? Weak. It's not part of the I-clobber, no3, clo4, so forth. Strong or weak base? Strong base. Rb is in the 1A's. So what does that make your pH? Basic. And last one, split it again. H and OH. So what do you get for your acid? HNO2, strong or weak? Weak acid. And NH4OH, strong or weak? Weak. Very good. So what is this? We don't know. We would have to do a calculation. So that's basically the introduction to buffers. We'll do a little bit more later.